go!
Hey guys, how you doing? Today we're looking at supermaneuverability in the Russian Sukhoi-27. This capability was first researched in the United States in 1975 at Langley Research Center. The United States Air Force, however, abandoned the concept as counterproductive to BVR engagements, as what they deemed the Cobra maneuver left the aircraft in a state of near zero energy. It also didn't compensate the maneuver with any kind of altitude gain in the process, so it was very difficult for the aircraft to regain any kind of energy that it had lost in that maneuver. And they deemed that exempting one-on-one engagements, this left the aircraft very vulnerable to both missile and gun attack by an enemy wingman, even if the initial threat overshot the supermaneuvered aircraft. So for this reason, the Americans abandoned the supermaneuverability project, as they seemed to favor maintaining kinetic energy. Now, the Russians then picked it up, and for whatever reason they like it, and they've incorporated it into a lot of their aircraft, particularly the Sukhoi-27s, 33s, and right up to the 35s. Possibly even the Sukhoi-57 has some supermaneuverability capabilities. And basically, Russian emphasis on close-range, slow-speed supermaneuverability runs counter to Western energy maneuverability theory, which favors retaining kinetic energy to gain an increasingly better array of maneuvering options the longer an engagement endures. So the American side, NATO, thinks that it's better to retain your energy, and the Russian side has deemed some sort of advantage in supermaneuverability. As to why that is, that's open for discussion. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Let's go ahead and get started with the fight. Here we go. So as soon as you turn off that FCS system, the nose likes to dip, so you got to catch it with the stick real quick, or else you'll go into a nosedive. Just because the aircraft is inherently unstable in this configuration with the FCS system off. So here we go. We got them locked up here, and you got to be careful with how you pull that stick. Like, I'm above 600. It's a little risky right now. I'm going to try to get the speed down as much as I can, but if you do it too fast, you'll rip your wings off. There's the merge. And I'm getting a nicer turn radius here. You can see that, pulling my nose around faster. Alright, so because I got my nose around faster, I'm able to slot in on his 6 o'clock here. He's realized that, so he's going to turn back into me. He'll reverse his turn here in a second, for sure. Here it is. Alright, there's that turn reversal. And I'm still sitting on his 6 though, so we're good. And here he comes. He's going to pull up. There's the turn reversal again. He's going to invert. That was beautiful. Well done. Alright, he's now pushing onto my 6, so I'm going to turn into him. He's slower than me though.
Over G, over G, over G.
Okay, so he's on my 6 here. I'm extending my turn. I'm going to dive for the ground and gain some energy. Hope that I can swing around. He's kind of falling behind. Got a lot of over G going on here. And here we come swinging that turn. And he's still on my 6 here. Now we're in a turning fight. He's really low to the ground, so he doesn't want to pull too hard on his stick, because if he bleeds too much energy, he'll hit the ground there. So I'm going to extend. It's a good opportunity for me to extend out of here. He's on my 6. This is going to be highly, highly risky, but I'm going to go vertical here and hope that he's a little too unstable to get his pipper on me and get shots on target. Here he comes. Yep. Beautiful. So he missed those rounds. My gamble paid off there. He's now in front of me, but he's really good at reversing those turns. Look at that. Beautiful. He's right up there with me as he crosses under. Slotted right back on my 6 o'clock.
Pull up. Pull up. Pull up.
Okay. So what to do. I'm going to extend here a little bit, and if this doesn't work, I'm going to try to do a stall maneuver. See if I can get him off my tail. That's going to be highly risky, so I'm really hoping this works here. He's getting all kinds of rounds off here, and he's hit me. Okay, we're going for the stall, man. This guy's like seconds away from killing me here, so I'm going to take a high risk. Going to pull something really high risk here. Here we go. We're going vertical. And he's going to stall right
Minimum
past.
speed.
He's going to fly right by.
Minimum speed. Minimum speed. Speed. Minimum speed. Minimum
So
speed.
as he overshot me there in that stall maneuver, that paid off for me. I'm now on his 6 o'clock here, and he's very low on his energy, so am I here. So this is very risky. If either one of us pulls too hard on that stick, we're going to crash. And I thought I could get it, but the 30 millimeters on the Sequoias are in burst mode, so I couldn't hold the trigger down any further than that. And here we go. He's very low to the ground. He might hit the ground here. He's going to have to pull out of that one. So he almost hit the ground there, and him pulling out of that has bled off a lot of his energy, so it's made him unable to really maneuver with me here. And I'm just going to slot in on a 6 o'clock, and this is where I'm going to kill him for sure. For sure. He's going to jink me pretty hard here because he's kind of out of options. I'm in a beautiful position. And there you go, that's the kill. That's a beautiful dance of the Sukhois right there. Very nice. Okay, here we go on round 2, exact same situation. I'm going for the merge here. Got to get that. Once you turn off the FCS, you got to trim the aircraft back out. It's very unstable. And there's the merge. And he went vertical. And I pulled too hard on the stick here, so I'm kind of out of energy. I won't be able to follow that vertical climb. And he's going to use that advantage. He's going to come around. He's going to slot nicely on my 6 o'clock. Beautiful maneuver by him. I'm going to try to get my nose around. We're going to go for a close merge here. Very close. Oof. Beautiful. Alright, so he's going to turn back into me, and I'm going to turn into him again. Looks like he's dropping his altitude a little bit here. And here he comes. Couple of rounds off at him. Just give him something to think about. Oof, I think he's trying to force an overshoot. I'm going to go vertical to try to stop it. I thought his turn reversal there was an attempt at forcing an overshoot. And so I pulled up and I've lost a lot of my speed here. He's now going to be able to slot around on my 6. He's in a much better energy state. And here he comes. He's settled right in on my 6 o'clock here. And I have a whole host of problems. Now he's in a great kill situation. If he can just pull his nose around, he's gonna light me up here. So I'm gonna pull a Cobra, which is a very bad idea because he's way too far. I shouldn't have done that. Ouch.
Minimum speed.
Oh, that looks important. Oh, was that my wing?
Left engine fire.
Right, yeah, that was definitely
fire.
the wing.
Hydraulics failure.
Ouch.
Minimum speed.
This is fun.
Left engine fire. Right.
Okay guys, here we go. This is the blue is me and red is Sunday over here. And so we both got our FCS systems off. I believe that's called the flight control system. It's basically the G limiter in the aircraft. It stops the computer from stopping you from pushing the aircraft to the absolute limits. And so therefore it's extremely dangerous, and you do need a high level of experience to fly an aircraft like that, because if you pull too many G's, you will snap your wings off. And it's also very dangerous low on the ground, because if you pull too hard on your stick, what's going to happen is you're going to bleed off a lot of energy, you're going to stall and crash. So really you're removing that safety net that the computer gives you. I don't necessarily have the most experience flying a flanker like this. I think Sunday's much better than me at it. You'll see good examples of his energy management in this fight as we go. So here we go. There's the merge here. I'm pulling that stick really tight, and you can see that the turn pattern, the turn rate is a little bit higher than Sunday's here, the radius of the turn, and he is pulling a more elongated turn. This does occur from time to time when a pilot is a little conservative on, or maybe he's a little scared that his speed's a little too high, and as he pulls the stick, he doesn't want to break his wings. Now the magic number, as far as I know, is about 600 kilometers an hour for you to pull that stick. If you pull it tighter, if you're higher speed than that, about 600 clicks, you pull that stick back, you will rip off your wings. Alright, so sometimes pilots are a little bit conservative here. I'm going to take a bit of a risk and pull that stick back, and you can see my reward here is that I pull a tighter turn than he does, which means as he crosses over, I'm going to be able to slip up on his 6 o'clock here. Now, because of that, Sunday's now got a problem. He has a Sukhoi 27 on his tail. What he's got to do is turn this fight around and create a problem for me. The way he's going to have to do that, because if he extends his turn this way, he's just going to solve the problem for me. He's going to let me sit on his 6 o'clock and get a fire solution, right? So what he's going to do is reverse his turn and turn into me. He's going to create a problem for me. How am I going to get back on his 6 once he turns into me? So you can see here, there's the reversal of the turn, and he's going to come back in. Now I have another problem. Again, I'm a little bit tighter. I'm a little bit slower on the, little bit 350. Oh no, he's slower than me. Okay, but oh yeah, this is what he does. He doesn't pull the stick tight enough as he crosses, as he reverses the turn here, and therefore he doesn't turn exactly. Like, he could have probably pulled up and come about here. But again, because he doesn't pull hard enough on the stick, he's going to elongate the turn. It's going to push him down a little bit further, which is going to allow me to pull up on his 6 again. Okay, so here I am back on his 6, but he's going to quickly reverse that turn again. He's already realized what he did, and he's reversing back into me. Look at this. And because of that, and especially his speed, he was around 270 up here, and now he's about 190. Look at my speed, 385. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to turn with that. And therefore, I'm going to do the same thing that he did before. I'm going to turn into him. But because my speed is so high, I'm not going to be able to turn tight enough. And it's going to allow Sunday the opportunity to get on my 6 o'clock here. Okay, so now I have a problem, and that is that he's on my tail here, and I'm going to decrease my altitude, try to get a little bit of energy back, some speed, and I'm going to hope that I can get far enough away from him that I can maybe turn my nose around and maybe do a second merge or something like that. As I do that, as I try to pull the turnaround, I can see out of the cockpit here that I have a Sukhoi 27 with a full frontal profile, and that indicates to me that he has his nose on me, and he's probably seconds away from getting a fire solution. And so these Russian aircraft, they're firing 30mm rounds. They're much more accurate. They don't have the spread that the NATO 20mm Vulcans give you. So therefore, you really do have to be accurate when you pull that trigger. If this was a Hornet, he probably would be firing right now. He'd be, spreading rounds everywhere, hoping that a couple of them could hit me. But because he's a Sukhoi, he's got to be very careful with how he pulls that trigger. The reward is when a NATO aircraft hits you with, one of those 20mm, chances are you're going to be messed up, but you're going to be, if he just hits you with one, you're probably still going to be fine. Okay? But with the Sukhoi 27s, you got to be more accurate, but if he can get one of those 30mm rounds onto you, you're going down, man. Those rounds are deadly. If you get lucky, you might survive a couple of 30mm hits, but your chances are not good. But anyway, as he crosses over here, he has a couple of seconds here where he can pull the trigger, but he probably just can't get his pipper on me. So he decides not to pull that trigger, even though it looks intact view, like he's got a full frontal profile fire solution there. And as he crosses behind me, he's not going to pull his nose tight enough, again, because he's already low on speed. If he pulls too tight, he's actually going to stall out his aircraft and crash. Okay, so he's going to be conservative with that. There's no need for him to get really crazy. He's already on my 6, so he's just going to try to sit there. Now, As we come here, you can see I'm pulling tighter than he is. He's at about 313. I'm at 205. I was 190 a little bit further back here, and therefore that means I'm turning tighter than him. And wait for it. So now he's on my 6. I'm extending the turn. I probably really shouldn't be, but you know, I would call that a mistake, extending a turn like that. And I'm gonna go vertical, and I'm gonna see if I can flip around on him. He goes vertical as well, but he's kind of off to the side here. However, he does manage to get off a couple of rounds here, and I really think I get really lucky with that cross, that he doesn't manage to get a kill. And he's fast, so he's going to shoot over the top, and I'm going to get away with that one. Now I'm around 160 here. We're going to do a little flip, invert the aircraft, and try to come back around on him. And you know, we got our normal rolling scissor at this point. Except that I'm a little faster than him, which is very bad. Basically, when you get into one of those scissors, the slower aircraft is going to be the one who gets to get on your 6. And if you realize that you're the faster aircraft, you need to find a way to get out of that scissor and still survive. And so that was my attempt at breaking off here. I'm going to still try to do another loop. Extremely dangerous. Shouldn't have done it. I probably could have exited the scissor and done something else over here. But I exit the scissor and go vertical and try to do a loop. That gives him another fire solution. And again, I get lucky that he can't hit me there. So here we are. At this point, I decide that I got to get really creative. I'm going to go for a high-risk maneuver, and that is that I'm going to try to force an overshoot by stalling myself out in the air. And it looks a lot like a Cobra, but it's not exactly. But you'll see it in a second here. I'm going to pull a full stall, basically come to a hovering stop in the air. He does manage to get a couple of hits here. I thought I was going to do it back there, but yeah, I'm going to do a couple more turns here. And he hits me over there, which is, if I remember correctly, is what kind of made me realize that I had to do something. So here's the maneuver here. It's not a Cobra. It looks like one, but it's not. And you can see I'm going about 200 when I pull it. He's going 237, so this is a perfect opportunity for a snapshot, or sorry, for an overshoot situation. And it is extremely dangerous, and in my opinion, he's too far for me to be doing this. I really should have done it when he was closer. But here we go. We're going to take a high risk, and I'm going to pull that aircraft. Look at that. Look at my speed here at 120, 97, and he's going to try to follow it, but he's way too fast. And you can see that. Look at that speed, 78, and he goes over the top. There's that overshoot. Right down to 65. Like, this aircraft is now just floating here. Okay, right down to 52, 50, 49. Look at that. I'm literally just like floating in the air as he flies around. So as he comes around, I'm going to put my nose back down, try to get my energy back up, and get on at 6 o'clock here. So high risk maneuver, got very lucky with it, but there he goes. And so now I'm low on speed, he's high on speed, and I'm sitting on his, I'm not on his 6, but I'm going to be. And now the tables have turned, right? And so my speed's a little bit higher here, and we're back in the scissor. He actually makes a mistake here and reverses the turn away from me, but I think he's predicting where I'm going to cross, which is, yeah, essentially what he does here. But the problem is that he's a little too low to the ground, and he's a little fast, so he had to pull this high G maneuver here to try to, look at that, just trying not to hit the ground. Look at this. Look at that AOA, man. And he comes very close to hitting the ground here. Look at that. That's an insane AOA, the fact that I did that. But like, he pretty much pulled a Cobra to stop hitting the ground. So anyway, because of that, he's lost any kind of advantage he had achieved there. And now I'm on a 6. And it's pretty much, he's trying to jink here a little bit. He's doing flips. He's using rudder inputs to try to bounce himself around and not get killed. But it's really just a matter of time here, and I put the rounds on him, and there he goes. That's what 30 millimeters would do to you, shred you up like that. So, alright guys, so that's going to be the attack view for the first round there. Okay, here we go with round 2, exact same setup. I'm blue, he's red. There's the merge. So my speed is 447, he's 400. And look at this, he's going to go... He did something I wasn't expecting, and that is that he went vertical. To me, that seemed risky just because he's bleeding off a tremendous amount of energy. His gamble here is that I'm going to pull tight on that stick. If I had been a little bit more elongated, I would have had more energy, might have been able to follow him into that climb. And having followed him into that climb, I would have caught him in a low energy state, maybe been able to kill him. But because I pulled tight on the stick as well, I'm low energy, I can't follow his turn up. And he's low on speed, which means he's going to be able to pull right around on my 6 here. And that's a beautiful maneuver. Like, he just slots in right on my 6. And so obviously we're back to that same creating problems for each other, and I'm going to turn back into him. Alright, it's really the only thing I can do in that situation. And you can see that we get a nice tight merge, basically reading the serial numbers off each other as that turn goes across. And here we go. And so he's going to invert, he's going to dive for the ground, probably trying to get a little bit of energy back. I'm going to stay horizontal. I like my energy state at around 260-ish. And there's my reversal of the turn, and I'm now on his 6 o'clock. He obviously realizes that very quickly, and as soon as you realize that a guy's on your 6 and what you're doing isn't working, basically do anything else than what you're already doing. Alright, it's a pretty safe bet. Really, anything else that you do, you want to always try to turn into him if possible, but if you can't figure that out, just do anything, man, because, you know, like, clearly what you just did didn't work, you know, so don't keep doing it. So he's inverted, he's gone down. I got a couple of shot opportunities, wasn't able to hit him. He's jinking pretty hard here, and that was really close. I almost took off his wing there. And so at this point, this is kind of a mistake on my part. Not kind of, definitely a mistake. So look at his speed. He's around 272. As he rolls to my right, I think he's trying to force an overshoot, and he probably is. Or he may just be jinking here. But as he does that, I'm very scared that I'm about to overshoot, especially look at my speed at 329. He's 272. If I overshoot, I'm dead, man. So what I'm going to do is pull a Cobra. So we're going to pull a Cobra in an attempt to not overshoot. Okay, and I'm going to get that speed right down to 171 at the expense of gaining a lot of altitude and basically giving up my position on his 6. I'm going to push, going to invert the aircraft and get my nose back down, try to come back on his 6 o'clock here. He has realized this and he's pulling up to meet me. Basically, he's again turning into me, right? Alright, so there's the little rollback. And so because he did that, he went vertical, he bled off more energy. He's sitting at 119, I'm at 186. He's back on my 6 o'clock position here. Alright, so at this point, you know, I'm just turning away. I think I may have lost visual on him very briefly here. And as I see him, I'm thinking, like, what am I going to do to get him off my 6 here? The go-to solution is the Cobra again at a true airspeed of 214. Not at all a good time to be pulling a Cobra. Like, just a terrible idea in this situation, because he's fast, he's low, he's probably got a very good visual. And so as I do it, he realizes the vulnerability of my state. He's way too far. Like, the only real situation where you can use a Cobra, and it's very limited, man, is if the guy is like really close to you and right on your 6. By which point it's like you should already be dead. But like by some miracle you're not dead already. You can pull a Cobra and maybe he'll fly by. Alright, so anyway, there's that Cobra, and I'm low energy state, and he's just gonna easily kill me here. So this is a good example of how a Cobra will get you killed if you do it incorrectly. And really, you have to be an experienced pilot to do a Cobra at the right time and pull it off without getting yourself killed. And there it is. That's a kill for Sunday. And there's his signature flare celebration there. So well done to him. Alright guys, that's going to be the video for today. Thank you for watching. I appreciate all your support, and I'll see you next time. Thanks guys.